I'm Beaver.
I'm Buckhead.
Buckhead. This one's heavy. It's about residential schools and the government's failure to protect survivors or provide adequate support to Indigenous communities. You ready for some tough truths?
Residential schools. Weren't those like a long time ago? Why is it still a thing?
Because the trauma and consequences haven't gone anywhere. Pay attention. You might learn something important.
The honourable member for Winnipeg Centre.
Mr. Speaker, according to an investigation by the Ontario Coroner's Office, an additional 220 deaths occurred at an Ontario residential schools, more than 50% higher than previously believed. This confirmed what we already have known. The Indian residential school system was a genocidal project, yet this government has not acted to protect survivors from rising residential school denialism, undermining truth and justice. So will the Liberals support my bill to include in the criminal code the protection of survivors from denialists inciting hate?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Crown Indigenous Relations.
Mr. Speaker, I think the more we find out about the residential schools, the more Canadians realize the horrific tragedies that occurred there. As a nephew of multiple aunts who went to the residential school, we continue to focus on support. We continue to focus on healing. That's why we have a National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, for us to continue to have these discussions, for us to open Canadians' mind to the experience of many First Nations who went to the residential schools, the Métis, Inuit, but also their descendants. And Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to be focused on that support for Canadians.
So, they're just now finding more deaths, and people are denying this happened? How does anyone deny something this horrible?
That's the thing, Buckhead. It's denialism and government inaction. They've had 9 years to make things right, and yet reserves are still underfunded, and survivors have to fight for basic acknowledgement. It's shameful.
Yeah, that's messed up. They've got a national day, but is that enough?
What? Are you serious? It's not even close, dude.